Okay, so I've had a question today which is, Sarah, how do I connect all of my stuff together when I run an online business? We've got websites, we've got online schools, we've got email lists, we've got email marketing, we've got payment platforms. Like seriously, this stuff just gets very overwhelming when you're first starting out. There is a lot to think about and there's all kinds of advice out there telling you what to do. So the first thing I'm going to say is there is no single one way of doing any of this stuff. There are multiple combinations. There are a billion different types of platforms out there. Do go and research them all. Do the free trials of them all. Find the ones that work best for you. So with that aside, what I'm going to share with you today is just some of the methods that I use and that works for me as an edupreneur, someone who sells information-based products, so that I can give you just a bigger picture really of how this all fits together. So that once you see this bigger picture, hopefully now it will make a bit more sense. I'm also going to show you just a couple of the tools and pieces of software that I use and just explain them so that you go into this a little bit wiser as to how this all works. I need a pen. Loretta, my beautiful assistant, please could you pass me one of the blue pens or something? I think the blue one works better. So when you're running an online business, guys, obviously the first thing to do, thank you, is to think about, what are the products and services that you actually have. Now, I'm going to talk to edupreneurs here, so I'm going to assume that you have some kind of educational or information type products to sell, particularly online courses. So I don't know how well you can see this, so I'm going to explain. What we have in the middle, if you're selling online courses, is your online school. This is the heart of your education-based business. This is where your courses and your content are going to live. This is where the discussions happen, where the community is built. This is where you really build in that place, that hub for all of your content to live. So ultimately, we want all of our students to end up there. However, what we don't want to do is make all of our marketing directly go to our online school. Why? Because if we're using an external piece of software or platform, well, what happens if that disappears or crashes or the business goes under? You've got marketing out to the world that's pinpointing to the URL of your school. So what you want to be doing for your own marketing purposes is every time you're marketing, you want to be sending people to your website. Because on your website, you have more than just your online courses, right? You might have other products and services. You might be a speaker and have information about your talk. You might be an author and have links to your books. You may have other products that people can buy. So you really want people going to that website so that you can capture their information. Perhaps if you have tracking pixels on the site, that's another conversation. Maybe you have lead magnets that pop up on your website that give people the opportunity to exchange their email address for your gifts or your special offers that you have available. Or indeed, just simply the whole purpose of them browsing on that site means that they may see things that they didn't know that you offered and could turn into customers just because you sent them there. So your website is always where you want to be sending people in the first instance, okay? So whether you're doing blogs, whether you have little image tip cards out there, if you're doing podcasts, if you're doing speaking, if you're just starting out, always send people to your website. Now, WordPress is a fantastic platform to use for building your website. It's completely free, and a lot of the plugins that you can add to customize your website and really make it your own are also free as well. So building a WordPress website is very straightforward. It's a lot easier than people think. You can do it yourself. There's a lot of web developers out there that can do great work for you. But I'd highly encourage you to actually learn how this works yourself, because when you understand a process intrinsically, that will allow you to actually provide much better instructions to a professional who's then going to take it to the next level for you. So I would encourage you to use platforms like Udemy, like YouTube, to learn how to build your own WordPress website. And I can assure you, within a couple of hours, you can actually have a bog standard website up and running that's got your information on, some links for people to contact you and find out more. And then once you've understood that, now you're going to be able to get some proper advice, pretty free and cheap as well. So once you have your website set up, you're going to create a page. So a page is like one of those tab buttons that people can click on, and that tab page is going to be called courses. So I go to your website and I want to see what courses you got. All I have to do is click on the courses tab. And what you're going to do inside behind the scenes is just simply make that courses tab auto redirect to your online school. So the student won't even realise that they're actually leaving your website, because your online school is going to be branded with the same branding. You can even have that online school with the same URL. So you can create what's called a subdomain for your online school, so that it all matches in the same branding and it all feels the same. So your website connects to your online school simply with that auto redirection, but also you can set up on your online school a button to your website that sends people back there as well. So you're going to get them to be promoting each other and having links back to each other. So let's talk about online schools now. There are a number of different ways that you can sell online courses. There are 3 main ways, however. So one way to sell your online courses is to use marketplaces, online course marketplaces. I'll explain these in a minute. The second way to sell online courses is with your own LMS, learning management system. And the third way to sell online courses is by using plugins and software that attach to the back end of your website, so that your website becomes its own subscription-based or online school type platform as well. Which one should you be using and what do they mean? Right, let me explain. So, online course marketplaces are a bit like supermarkets. This is kind of the analogy I like to use to help people understand this principle. So, a supermarket has lots and lots of customers coming through. A supermarket sells multiple different products by multiple different brands and businesses. So, if you sell a product that you want to sell in a supermarket, you're going to want to get your product on that supermarket shelf, because of the fact that there's tons of customers coming through the door that supermarket is doing the marketing for. People might buy your product on that supermarket shelf even if they didn't intend to walk into that supermarket and buy that type of product. There's a lot of window shopping that happens in supermarkets. I could just be walking through the aisle and I see that thing, oh, that looks nice, pop it in the trolley, okay? So you want to have your products on supermarket shelves for sure. However, when it comes to supermarkets, who do you think has control over the price of the product on that supermarket shelf? It's going to be the supermarket. If the supermarket decides to do a big discount sale, who do you think decides what price that goes for? The supermarket, right? Not you as the product owner. The supermarket decides. If the supermarket decides to change the branding or move the shelves around, they can decide that. So when it comes to online course marketplaces, I want you to have this analogy in mind. You do not get necessarily control over the pricing of your course. You don't necessarily get control over the discounting that happens to the price of your course. And you also don't own the students that are taking your course, because just like a supermarket, it's the supermarket's customers, not the product that was purchased from the supermarket's customer. So why would you use them? This is where I get a lot of online course creators going, oh, why would you use these kinds of platforms if you don't even own the student database? Well, because of the fact that they have millions of students. Why wouldn't you want to put your amazing product in front of these people that otherwise wouldn't even know that you exist? And importantly, why wouldn't you do this when you actually get paid for that exposure? So the way I like to see online course marketplaces is basically as a way to give to the world, to share my message with the world, to promote and market myself, to get exposure to people I wouldn't have, in a way that I actually get paid for it. Now, a lot of people go out there and happily spend money on Facebook ads to not necessarily get any return. Now, the way I like to see these online course marketplaces is I'm putting my courses on them, yes, for cheap. Yes, my stuff gets given away for much less than I'd like it to. However, I'm still getting paid to get exposure to a brand new market that someone else is doing the work for. So I encourage people to think of the online course marketplace almost as the bottom of their funnel. This is where you can take your online course and take a sample of your online course, a smaller, condensed version of your online course, a taster of your online course, and pop it on these open marketplaces. Now, they all have very strict rules, by the way. You have to adhere to these rules and you have to make sure you check them at the time of watching this and doing this, because the rules change all of the time. At the moment, in online course marketplaces, and some of them, you are allowed to deliver your course and then at the end, incentivize them to maybe look elsewhere for the advanced version of that online course. Now, there are rules to follow, so please check them. One of these online course marketplaces is Udemy, Udemy. So I'd highly encourage you all to think, how can you take a smaller version of this course, pop it on one of those platforms, and then say, hey, this was just a taster. If you enjoyed this, now come on over to my other platform where the full version is available. So you have to make sure that this taster version is actually useful, right? So if people took your course and went, well, that was rubbish, they're obviously not going to come and take an advanced version. So it does have to be good, it does have to be useful, it does have to be helpful, it does have to provide them with strategies, implementation, and some kind of transformational outcome. So that's really important. But here's now where we move to what we call the LMS, the Learning Management System. The learning management system, it's a bit like WordPress, right? So yes, it's not your software. However, you buy that software and you make it your own. It belongs to you. You create your own branding, you create your own world inside that piece of software. Now, my favorite one at the moment is Thinkific. There are lots of them out there, however, please go and look around. They're all quite different. They all have slightly different user experiences. The features generally across the board these days are the same. There's a lot of competition out there now, and it tends to be that when one gets a sexy new feature, the rest of them are pretty quick to follow up and get the same too. So go and do the free trials of them all and decide for yourself. Please decide for yourself which one you like to use, because it does tend to come down to simply user preference and the feeling you have when you're using that. But yeah, Thinkific is my software of choice at the moment. And I really find it very simple to use with a lot of very advanced functions, despite the fact that it has real user simplicity. So why is this different to a marketplace? The way I like to think of the learning management system is a bit like your own boutique store, right? You've bought the land, you've built your own little boutique shop, it's yours. So when people walk into that shop door, you get ownership of those customer details. That customer belongs to you. You get their email address. You get to deliver that product to them however you want. You get to choose the pricing of your products. You get to choose your discounting, your special offers, your big fat open days. You are in complete control of your own LMS. No one else can dictate or control that. Downside is obviously you have to do your own marketing. It's like having your own WordPress website. No one's going to market your website for you unless you're using some of the marketing strategies I'll give you a couple of tips on shortly. So you do have that difference in that this is your own business. You can't expect people to market you in your own LMS, in your own platform. So this is where you're going to put your full courses, your higher end courses, your more expensive programs. This is where you're going to have all of your students actually gathering, having conversations and communicating with one another. And then the third version that I mentioned was having plugins attached to your website in the back end. So with the plugins, some of them are free, some of them you pay monthly subscriptions for, some of them you just buy outright and you then own that plugin that then allows you to upload your courses to your own website. Now, which one is best? I believe you should be using all of them. All of them have very different pros and cons. All of them are used in different stages of your business funnel, and therefore all of them should be seen as different elements of your business delivery system and your marketing system as well. You need to have the marketplaces to bring in paid leads, and you need to have the LMS or the plugins in order to be able to then deliver that product under your own roof, under your own control, under your own banner. Now, the reason why I personally have chosen to host all of my courses on an LMS, a piece of software outside of my website, is because websites can crash. Websites require maintenance. Websites require you to be able to respond very quickly if things go wrong. True story, just before Christmas, I'd done a massive Christmas marketing campaign and my website crashed. It died, and it was down for 4 days. Luckily, because my online school is hosted off of my website, it didn't affect my sales and it didn't affect my business and it didn't affect my students who were enrolled, who were using Christmas period as a time to actually do some learning. So I personally have them separate for backup. Now, what I do have on my website is a page that shows each of my different courses, and I do have an LMS plugin. So if for any reason the LMS platform that I use crashed or died or stopped working, with a click of a button, I can turn my courses live on my website too. So what I have here is a double backup so that my business is safe. It's fail-safe completely. So by using LMSs, online course marketplaces and plugins, this here now fills in the middle part of your online school. So you're sending all of your people to your website. Your website has a courses tab that auto redirects people to your school. And outside of that, you're using online course marketplaces and sending them from the marketplace into your own online school. So you're using that marketplace as leads. You're using your website as a way to get leads into your school. So talking of leads, now let's talk about lead magnets. Those of you who don't know what lead magnets are, basically it's something you're swapping in exchange for an email address. However, that thing obviously has to be tasty, exciting and useful to the people who are looking at it in order for them to want to exchange their email address for it. You know, these days people hate giving their email address away because they're pretty certain that they're going to get bombarded with sales emails and stuff like that. So you've got to make sure that the thing you're offering is valuable enough for people to go, yeah, it's going to be worth getting a bit of junk mail for this, because that's how people are thinking. So lead magnets. This could be anything. This could be a taster version of your online course. It could be the recording of a useful webinar. It could be an ebook. It could be a physical book. It could be a free consultation session. There's all sorts of things that you could use as a free gift in exchange for that email address. Because once you have that email address, obviously you can then take whatever that free information product or gift was that's the same topic as your online course. You know that if they've downloaded that free thing, they are clearly interested in that topic. They're clearly interested in finding out information about that thing, and therefore it's quite likely that after a taster of you that was free, that they might then want to pay a little bit of money to then take some of your paid products or services. So what I do is I take either a free recording of a free webinar, or I use a taster version of my course, just a small sample, enough to give people value, enough to get them started on something, to show them that I do have the information that I promise. This is your opportunity to show people that you're not just making up the fact that you know what you're talking about. It's an opportunity for you to demonstrate that you actually know your stuff. It's an opportunity for you to demonstrate and prove that you are who you say you are, that you have the expertise that you're offering to charge people money to give them. So make your lead magnet, if you can, something that's got video in it so that they can have that experience of you. This is where the real trust comes in. This is where people no longer have any doubts about you because they've seen for themselves that you know what you're saying. So with lead magnets, there's a couple of ways to deliver that. Now, I use a combination of Google Drive, ActiveCampaign, or Lead Pages. Now, ActiveCampaign I'm going to talk about shortly. It's an email marketing software. I actually only very recently discovered it within the last 12 months. Wish I'd known about it earlier. It's absolutely fantastic and has revolutionized the way that I run my business now. But, you know, swiftly now become a super fan and have just immersed myself in learning the ins and outs of how to use this for running an education-based business. So, Google Drive. Google Apps, guys, is one of the best things as well I've ever started using. Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, they are basically free versions of Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, but they are on the cloud, so no matter what device you're using, you have access to all of your documents. You're never going to lose stuff. You never have multiple versions of everything all over the world. You can even collaborate with your team or freelancers or clients working on those documents live. You can actually live see each other working on those documents. So by the by, also part of the Google platform is something called Google Drive. So it's basically just on online storage, an online folder. So what I do, for instance, if I had a free ebook that I wanted to deliver as a lead magnet, I take that ebook, save it as a PDF, and I upload it to the Google Drive. Now, when you upload something to a Google Drive, it gives you a URL, an actual web URL, and you can change the permissions to that particular document so that only you can view it, so it's private, or you can specifically only invite certain people by putting their email address in, or you can switch it to only people with the link can view this document, or you can switch it to public. Anyone on the internet could find this document using the keywords that I've made in the title. So in this particular instance for delivering a lead magnet, what I do is I go into my ActiveCampaign, and you can create what's called forms in ActiveCampaign. And the form simply is a sheet where people can put in their name, their email address, and then it delivers something to them, i.e. your lead magnet. So I upload my PDF ebook to my Google Drive. I select the permissions to anyone with the link can view this. I then take that URL link to the ebook. I create my form in ActiveCampaign and I put that form on my website. So it says, get Sarah's free ebook now. They put in their email address, they put in their name, they press submit, and a thank you page pops up by ActiveCampaign. It's very, very straightforward to do, and it gives them the link to the ebook. Hey Sarah, thanks so much for downloading the ebook. Here's your link to get it now. They click that link and voila, the ebook is open. So that really is just how simple this could be. Now there are far more complex ways of doing this. You can use lead pages, you can use a whole series of funnels of pages that then upsell to other things straight away. But I'm just giving you a big picture overview right now. And hopefully you can see that it's not as difficult as it may sound. So using ActiveCampaign, it connects to your website. ActiveCampaign connects to your website via an ActiveCampaign plugin. You can then use that method to collect leads from your website, deliver them a product that's in line with your course, and now that you have their email address, you can now use that to offer them more helpful stuff on the thing they're now clearly interested in to try and get them to take one of your online courses. So that's how we work with lead magnets. Then obviously your email list comes into this. The whole reason that you have your website and that you have your lead magnets is so that you can collect people's emails. With those emails, you can continue to show them that you know what you know. You can continue to help them and provide them with useful information by sending them really useful emails or blog articles or videos or tips, or offering them discounted products and services that they might be interested in using. So you want to always be growing this particular email list. Now again, I use ActiveCampaign, and using ActiveCampaign, again, just with lead magnets, with your online school, you can start growing this list. Now, your online school can connect with your email marketing system. This is really, really cool because you can now put free courses, free workshops, taster courses, recordings of webinars on your online school. You can even sell products from your online school as well. I sell PDF documents on my online school. For people to even view free stuff, free content, free webinars, free training on your online school, they still have to enroll, meaning you still collect their email address when you offer something for free on your online school. Now, by connecting your email marketing software, in my case ActiveCampaign, to your online school, in my case Thinkific, you're actually building your email list as well as delivering your product or service. So this is really cool. Now here comes another piece of software. There are lots of pieces of software that can integrate directly with Thinkific, and I know all the time they're adding new direct integrations, but let's face it, there are a million billion pieces of software out there, so we can never have everything directly integrating with everything. I mean, that would just be a ridiculous ask. Things change far too quickly. However, there is an amazing piece of software called Zapier, Z-A-P-I-E-R, Zapier. Now, this piece of software basically is a little online tool, app, website that acts a bit like a bridge between two pieces of software. So Zapier will connect one piece of software to another piece of software to make some kind of data sharing or communication happen. So I use Zapier to connect my Thinkific school to my ActiveCampaign email marketing platform. So using Zapier, you basically put this bridge together where you go, hey Zapier, can you tell ActiveCampaign when someone enrolls in my course on Thinkific? You can really easily set that up. Now, Zapier does have a free version. You can only set up 3 zaps. Now, telling Thinkific to tell ActiveCampaign when someone enrolls in the school is a zap. So I actually have the paid version of Zapier, which I believe is about, I think, $47 a month, so that you can have ridiculously huge amounts of zaps that you can create. Because remember, Zapier is used to connect any piece of software to any piece of software, and there's a million ways that I use it to do that. So now what you can do, using your online school connected to your email list with Zapier, you can now create automated email sequences to keep your students engaged. Completion rates of your online courses is really important. It's important for your students, it's important for your brand, and it's important for your bottom line. So anyone who says, oh, you know, I've had students, they've paid their money, so who cares what they do? Who cares if they finish my course, right? You totally should care. Because if your students aren't completing your course, then they're not getting all of the results. And if they're not getting all of the results, then they can't walk away from that course and say, that was an awesome course. You should totally take Sarah's course. Oh my gosh, that changed my life. That really helped me. This has given me strategies that are going to help me go forward in blah, blah, blah situation. So if people don't finish it, if people aren't completing it, they're not going to get those results, and you're not going to have the ongoing marketing. You're not going to have people's lives that have been changed, which is an important reason to be in this business in the first place, right? So you can use your email marketing sequences to now automatically keep following up with your students. So you go into your email marketing campaign system, my case, Active Campaign. You click on the automations button and you create an automation. An automation basically is a sequence of emails that you send out to your students in the most basic form. There's actually a lot of other ways you can use automations, but let's keep it simple for now. So for instance, a student enrolls in your free course or your expensive course, whatever. They enroll in a course on your online school. Now Zapier tells Active Campaign that that's happened, and now automatically sends them to a particular sequence that you've told Zapier to send them to. And this sequence might go something like this. Email 1. Hi Sarah, welcome to the course on Blur. Here's your link to your online school, because people don't want to be looking for links. Like, make this easy for people to go back into your course. Don't forget that your login details are the ones you created for yourself. Here's a few tips to get started. So this is your welcome email, the first thing that goes out. Welcome them, give them some advice. Guys, don't worry about getting all markety, you know, like you've got to go into this sales spiel of, have you ever felt overwhelmed? Have you ever felt blah, blah, blah? Have you ever felt blah, blah, blah? Right, boring, just talk it to them. This is about communication. This is about chatting. This is about them simply knowing who you are. This is about just simply being there and letting them know how to get in your course, how to take it, how to engage with it, and how to get ready to get the best results from it. So give them the link to the course, tell them that they can connect with you. If you've got a Facebook group, tell them they can go and join that. Put some links at the bottom to your social media channels so that they can follow you and be connected with you everywhere. Then what you can do with Active Campaign is say, right, now we've sent that welcome email, let's just wait for a few days. Set how many days you want to wait for. I tend to set it to about 3 days while people are hot. It was only 3 days ago they were enrolled. Let's check in with them. So wait for 3 days and then send the next email. And the next email will say something like, hey Sarah, how's it going? 3 days ago you enrolled in the online course called Blur. Here's the link again, by the way, just in case you haven't had time to check in yet. How's it going? What have you learned so far? Have you had time to really get stuck in? Don't forget, you can stay in touch with the Facebook group. Don't forget, you can contact me if you have any questions or need any help. Now's an opportunity as well, if you do have any other services that you can offer them. Hey, I can also do this for you. Would you like some coaching? Just to drop that in there. Then you might want to wait a little bit longer. Let's pretend your course is 4 weeks long. I don't know, I'm making something up now. There's a million different scenarios, by the way, and I'm not going to overcomplicate this particular video. You can basically then send a sequence of emails with certain periods of time in between each one so that you can follow up with them and check that they are getting on okay. You want people to complete. The majority of the time people are busy and they just forget, or they lost the link and can't be bothered to find it. So by just following up with them like this, we're going to make sure that they're staying engaged with the course. You can add complexity to this because you can create another Zap from Thinkific to your Active Campaign that actually sends progress data. So you can create Zaps that say, Sarah's now got 50% of the way through the course, please can you tell Active Campaign, and then set off a trigger for another email. Well, hey, congratulations, Sarah, I see that you're now halfway through your course. Awesome work. So by now you should have done the following things. By now you should have the following stuff ready or completed or done, whatever. You can send other Zaps for if they haven't yet started. So you can get Zaps set up to check in on that progress and send them emails going, hey, nudge, nudge, I see that you haven't got started on your course yet. Your course is missing you. Don't forget, you spent money on this. How can I help you? Take some time out, get started. You really want to help them do what they have paid for so that they can get the results that they wanted when they put that money down. Be that expert that you promised you said you were going to be. Be the help that they need to get that done and completed. So there's a million ways you can use sequences. I won't go into that anymore. Now here's the great thing, someone else asked about payments. Using an online platform software, everything is integrated. So this is the awesome thing about Thinkific. Go and set yourself up a free Stripe account. Go and set yourself up a free PayPal account. And with the click of a couple of buttons, you can have your online school directly connected to these payment processors, which then can obviously pay into your bank accounts. It really is that simple. So these are direct integrations. You don't need any zaps or anything like that. From directly inside your online school, you can actually connect these payment platforms and take money without even having to send invoices or be involved in that process with the customer at all. They can go to your school, they can see the course they want, they click buy now, they enter their credit card details, they pay for the course, and they instantly have access. So this is a great way for you to sort of start systemizing this business. And this is where people say, you know, it's passive income. We use that lightly because there's no such thing really as passive. You have to be marketing it to actually sell that course and have got it in front of somebody in the first place. So it's passive in the sense you don't have to be involved in the actual financial exchange, but not in the sense that you've got work to do to have got to that stage in the first place. So there's a bit of an overview there for those of you that are watching the live stream version of this or have only just come on. Always market and send people to your website. Connect your website to your online school. Make sure that you have lead magnets on your website that are directly in relation to the content of the courses you have in your online school, because you only want to be adding people to your email list, which is what happens when someone exchanges their email for a lead magnet, that are actually interested in your products. Because with most email marketing platforms, you actually pay for the number of subscribers you have on your list. So you don't want people on your list that are not interested in your stuff, right? So make sure those lead magnets are actually relevant to your topic that you're teaching or providing advice, guidance, and coaching on. Then you need to start marketing it. So this is where the next bit comes in: creating your online course, creating your books, creating your workshops, creating your boot camps, creating your coaching programs, whatever they may be, are only the start. Then you have to actually start marketing them. You cannot just create an online course and think that it's going to make you money. It really doesn't work that way. If you're not prepared to spend the next couple of years absolutely, completely and utterly immersed in your topic, it won't get to the stage where it sells itself. You need to reach a sort of a melting point of a particular volume of happy and successful students from your course before they are going out and doing so much word of mouth marketing for you that then you can step back and start working on the next product or the next topic or the next thing. You have to be committed to that. And this means you've got to play a long game. A lot of online course creators say to me, you know, Sarah, I've made this course, but it's not making any sales. And I say, great, well, what did you do? And they say, oh, well, you know, I chucked about $50 on a Facebook ad. Now, here's the thing, guys. Facebook ads are great if you are providing a particular date that's opening a launch of something, or you're having a workshop where you need lots of eyeballs on one thing at one moment in time. But the thing is with ads and paid systems is that the second you stop paying, the second eyeballs stop seeing them, the second you stop making money. It's a completely unsustainable business model. I personally only would use ads if you need a big boost for a particular launch or a particular date or a particular event for something. Where you really get sustainable business is when you think about this as the long-term game. And this is why not everyone is successful in this, because they're not prepared to commit themselves to this level. You need to spend the next couple of years writing blog articles, putting guest articles on other people's blogs, going and speaking on podcasts, going and speaking at events, free events, unpaid events. Yes, really. You need to be going and speaking at conferences. You need to be writing books and ebooks. You need to be going into Facebook groups where your audience are hanging out, providing helpful advice. You need to be helpful on purpose. You need to maybe create your own group and start building a tribe of people who follow you, who like your content, who are interested in what you have to say. This is where you slowly start building a group of people who agree with you about your topic, who have similar views on what it is that you stand for and represent, who connect with the way that you deliver what you deliver. And this really does take a long time. How do you sell your online courses? This is about combining multiple ways of delivering your service, of showing and demonstrating people that you know what you know. Now, ironically, a lot of the stuff I give away for free, like what you're listening to right now, is stuff I repeat over and over again. I would do live streams on it. I'd put videos on YouTube. I'd offer free webinars on it. I speak at free events on it. I write blog articles. I speak on people's podcasts. I speak on my own podcast. I repeat this over and over again. Yet every time I do it, more people find that content. More people engage with that content. And that is because people like engaging with different types of content. Some people like to read, some people like short reads, some people like long reads, some people like a physical thing to touch and hold. Some people like to learn in a course, some people like a quick video. So being aware of that fact and realizing that every time you produce another piece of content, it adds another spiral to this big spider's web that you build that can collect more and more and more leads for you, that can help more and more and more people, that gets your stuff coming up in organic search results on internet search engines more and more frequently. Every time you produce a piece of content, it's going to add to that reach that you have to help more people, and of course, then ultimately bring them back into your business and potentially also become customers as well. So I'm going to leave that video here. This has been a very long video. I normally keep mine very short and sweet, but I was asked this question and there isn't a short answer to it. So I really hope this has helped give you a much bigger picture of just how this all fits together. Of course, there's a lot more detail about how do you set it up, how do you connect it. If you guys are interested in that, I do provide all of this as a service. You can actually spend one single day with me, and I actually help you plan your online course, get it out of your head. I help you set up your entire online school, connect it to all your payment systems. I set up your email marketing software. I set up your email sequence, your automated email sequences, and I have it all working by the end of the day, by the time that you leave. If you do choose to do that and you want to actually come and see me in person, I do invite you to come and spend the day with me at my home in Western Australia, and I will throw in the use of my green screen studio absolutely free of charge into that package. And most people actually film their entire online course in the same day as well. So if you're interested in that, do contact me, sarah@sarahcordiner.com, or go to sarahcordiner.com/services. Alternatively, join my Facebook group, Entrepreneur to Edupreneur Course Creators. You can also listen to my podcast called Course Creators as well. So just a few ways for you to get started. If you need any help with this, please reach out. I'd love to set it up for you and get you up and running in your amazing online world, sharing your expertise with everyone out there too. For now, awesome, good luck, keep going, spread your message. There's lots of people out there that are dying for your knowledge and your information. See ya.